Ho, ho, ho! What do you know? It's 5 o'clock on the dot, and here I am in the spot. Where are you? Tell me true. Come on in the house. Oh, yeah. We'll give it a minute. Get some of you people on in here. Hey, Jason. Yeah, here are the numbers. All right, the Dean of Science is with us live. And there's Mrs. Clayton. Hello, beautiful. Stephen. Robo Puff. Derek. Trusty Nathan Trusty. Pat. Yeah, I found some Drano, some off store brand from Walgreens. All right, Dave. Well, you all know who I am, but just in case you forgot, I am the unimpeachable president for life. Jeffrey K. Clayton, the long-haired weirdo. All right. Right, almighty. Happy September 1st to everyone. Sure as hell don't feel like fall around here. Here's old Bill. Wild Bill Miskowitz. All right, Justin Crockett's here. Now we can start. Oh boy, I had to get a shower before I got started today, man. Come in covered in oil and grease and dirt and mud. Big D Ledbetter. What's going on, man? Earl. Oh, Jimmy Parker. Lord. Hey, Lowell. Good seeing you in here, man. Well, it looks like a good number of you is already in, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Because, I listened to what I did, the one before this, and I guess we ended up where it ended up just being me, Joe, and Barry. Phil had quit. Now, I'm going to go back and tell more stories and all about these lines, because I mean, it seems like I kind of summed up Phil's time in the band in one session, and there's a lot more to talk about. But I mean, it's like whenever we reach subjects that go together, I'll tell stories, of that lineup, and not just let it go at what I had. But did any of you see Malcolm and John Sunday? I think that was the last part. But Malcolm is, I think when I talked to him today, he said that he has, he talked to Tom O'Keefe last night. So Malcolm's going to keep doing his interview series, where he just talks with another band member. Maybe one day he'll get the bright idea that he needs to talk to me. We'll see. So, yep, last week, Phil gives me the curveball that he's leaving. We play his farewell show, which also was John Hayes's birthday show at Tremont. Well, now we're back in that same old familiar place of looking for a drummer. Hey there, Brad Mullins. Man, I still got to talk to you about this microphone business. And I will. Matter of fact, I'm off all week. Me and the missus decided to take a staycation. Oh, yeah. But, so yeah, we're in the same old situation. Looking for that drummer again. Man, this time we kind of feel like we're not going to be able to go back to the well. We're not going to be able to stay in the circle. Because people have pretty much done some double duty in this band. So we had to do auditions. And a couple of the guys I knew, I didn't really have a lot to do with the audition process except for I just sat. We held the auditions at Tremont Music Hall. And I just kind of sat at the bar and in the office and listened. We told everybody, you know, there would be 5 songs that they had to learn. And we could, with these 5 songs, we could tell if they were going to be able to hang. But man, I think we filmed all the auditions. But this guy that we knew from Florida, Brian, otherwise known as the Gooch, he kind of had a shoe in. Because, see, I toured with Gooch when I was singing for the Murder Junkies. He was a friend of Bill Weber's, and he came along on the tour, and he was roadieing. And I got along with him real good then, you know, and I'd never really heard him play, but people assured me he was good. And so I asked him if he wanted to come audition. But honestly, he was kind of... We did the auditions kind of knowing that's the route we were going to go. But, I mean, I'll tell you, though, the auditions, the guys were good. It's just some of them just didn't seem like a good fit with, you know, what we had going on. And one guy in particular was fantastic. Fantastic. He may have been better than Barry. He used to play with Hank 3. But he made a big, gigantic mistake in old JC's book of auditioning for ANTiSEEN. He brought his girlfriend to the audition. To quote some of my favorite philosophers, I can't go for that. No can do. I mean, you bring your girlfriend to your audition, something tells me when they say, "Oh yeah, we're going to Japan. We're getting 4 plane tickets." Someone would be saying, "Could you make that 5?" And I have to go, "No." I had a big strike against him. Now, Gooch came up from Florida to the auditions, and it was in the winter. And I mean, even though we were kind of pretty sure we'd go that way, I guess me and Joe weren't very nice to him. We didn't let him stay at our houses or nothing. Joe was paranoid as hell because he smoked an awful lot of pot. I am still a very untrusting person when it's people I don't know. Paranoia? Could be. But, hell, he was coming to prove something to us. We weren't proving anything to him. Right? So he did the audition. Perfect. For what we needed, right? So he was going to move up. And he did. And true to form, which we would find out would be a Goochism. He moves up here with a crazy girlfriend. And she sees this and gets upset. I'm not going to apologize. You're crazy. But he came back up one more time before he moved up, just to practice. This was Barry on bass, and me and Joe, and here's the thing: any song that we asked Gooch to play, he came up, and I'm pretty sure he had it at one time. Bam, had it. See, he got to listen. He listened to the stuff, so he knew what to do, right? And that's something I would find out the hard way. That as long as Gooch can listen to something that's already been recorded, he'll have it down. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So we had a show booked in December 14th of that year. And we played Charlotte. We played Tremont. Great show. It was Gooch's debut. We made a big deal out of it, and the show went great. And then we had 2 more shows booked. I don't know, man. What that was December, January, February. Like in March or April. And we played Cleveland, we played Pittsburgh and Cleveland. I think that was our last time at 31st Street Pub. I don't think we played there with Russell guitar. I don't know. They may tell me otherwise, but I don't think we did. But so we go do those shows. We're using Gooch's van, and the Pittsburgh show was, a typical Pittsburgh show for us. Wasn't a huge crowd. It was a good sized crowd, very enthusiastic. We always do all right in Pittsburgh. We love playing the 31st Street Pub. But then we go to Cleveland, and now that's Class. And man, Cleveland used to be really good for us, and then it just kind of fizzled out. These shows were no exception. There was hardly anyone there. I don't think they advertised it worth a shit. The only good parts about it was we got to see our buddy Tom Dark. And I just remember that trip, Joe just being like drinking a lot more than usual. Not really talking a whole lot. I don't think we talked directly to each other the whole trip. I'm not sure. But yeah, Brad, Tom Dark was in Knife Dance. And we But there was a moment on the stage in Cleveland. I guess we were just kind of, to me, I guess I was just thinking, well, here we are again. X amount of years down the road, another lineup, and let's just kind of see how it goes, And I just remember there being one moment on the stage where it just felt like everything snapped together and just like fit really good and clicked. And I remember looking over at Joe during that time, because man, I think he felt it too, because we looked at each other and we just started kind of smiling, like wow. That was the real last exchange I really had with him. When we got home from that trip, it was one of them deals where we all parked somewhere, we'd get in the vehicle, go. Well, I picked him up, and I was going back down to Rock Hill. I still lived in Rock Hill at the time. And, God, his hair's still dripping wet. But, I dropped him off. I dropped Joe off at the house, and I know all we kind of said was, well, I'll see you next week. All right, man. Take it easy. Bam. That's it. That was on Sunday. I don't know if it was like the very next week. What was that week that week where we were in? I'm thinking it was. But I was at work. It was like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And this is when I was still working in receiving. But they had me doing shipping work. And, man, I would never go to the shipping sort meeting or nothing. I would just go to the back where the guys were doing the warranties, the compressors that I do now and stuff. I just went back there, asked them if I could sit at their desk while they went to break, or before they even got there. I don't know. And I would just rest, you know, had taken a break there. And break was over. I remember getting on the forklift, putting it in drive, and starting to go, and my phone goes off. And I look at my phone, it's Jimmy Repo. And I'm like, man, you know, it was odd that Jimmy would call me that early in the morning. But, you know, like I said, I was just off break. I had to get back to work, so I was going to wait until I was able to maybe go outside or something and call him back. Well, they called back. And this time left a message. So I was able to pull in between some stacks of, you know, some boxes. You know, there were some. I just pulled in there where I wouldn't be seen, and I listened to the voice message, and it wasn't Jimmy. It was Jimmy's phone, but it was Jeff Young. And I could tell he was not in a good way at all. And what he said was, Jeff, this is Jeff. I'm calling on Jimmy's phone. He said, man, but you got to get over here. Joe's had a heart attack, and he died. And I was just, I think I played it again. It was one of them moments where it just seems like everything just kind of goes like, whew, and you're just kind of stuck there, you know. So I called back on Jimmy's phone, and Jeff answered. I said, Jeff, what the hell's going on? And he said, man, you gotta get over here. He goes, man, Joe's dead. And I was just like, okay, you know. And I was like, he was wanting to talk more. I was just like, Jeff, just hold on. I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna leave right now. I went and told my boss what was going on, and I said, you know, I don't know when this week I'll be back. And they were like, man, take all the time you need, you know, and just go take care of stuff, you know. So, you know, it was I'm kind of riding, I'm riding on the I-77 from Rock Hill going to Jeff and Joe's place, which is this place where I'm at now. But so I'm just like on the way. I'm calling as many people as I can think of that need to know this. You know, like our other band members. You know, I called John Bowman. I called Phil Keller. And, you know, everybody pretty much converged on the house. It was there for Jeff. We got there, Jimmy Repo was already there. And by the time I got there, the coroner had already picked him up. I mean, I must have been just a few minutes behind him. But this is early in the morning. They were getting ready to go to work over at Repo. Joe had already been drinking. And he went out to the car to in the spot where I park my car right now. He was clearing out some trash that was he had pulled the trash dumpster right up beside and was taking stuff and throwing it all in the thing, and then I guess he just fell. And Jeff came out there, and Jeff had washed his phone by accident in his pants, so his phone was, fucked, and so he couldn't call anybody. And so he goes to the neighbors after he discovers Joe laying in the grass out there. And he goes to the neighbor. The first thing he does is call Jimmy. And then I don't know how it went after that. I don't know if Jimmy's the one that called the coroner. But they had to get called, I guess the police came. But, I don't know. It's just, it's really weird. I mean, because maybe we kind of figured he was going this route, man, because he was not healthy by any means. You look at the last few pictures, the last few shows we did, man, he looks gray, and his face was really bloated. Hands were, and he had told John Bowman and me a year or so, 2 years earlier, that he sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night with a tightening in his chest and he can't breathe, and then he waits and then he's able. And we're like, man, you got to go to the doctor about this, And telling the young brothers to go to the doctor is just like saying, hey, why don't you build me a solid gold castle? You have a better chance of getting that than you would one of those guys going to the damn doctor. But I took the first shift of staying with Jeff. I guess I stayed with Jeff here a couple nights. And before we could do anything, and this is the part that's probably going to freak some of y'all out, my brother came, and since we knew people were going to be in and out of this house for the next week or so, my brother and my wife, she wasn't my wife at the time, she was just my girlfriend then, but Miss Clayton, they cleaned the hell out of this house, man, and it was bad off. And the next day, me and Jeff Young and Greg had to go up to Lenore, where the boys are from, and we had to get Jeff power of attorney from Joe's wife. Yeah, Joe was married. He was married, and they didn't live together. Really kind of weird situation. One of the things I think aided him all these years, and that he just never would talk about it. I mean, I don't know if he talked about it with his brother. I imagine he did at some point, but it was bothering him for a long time, and so we had to go up there and get power of attorney. And man, she was in a convalescent home. And so we went, we got the power of attorney signed over, then we could start making, you know, arrangements. And the boys wanted to be cremated. That's what I want. And we found a funeral parlor on Central Avenue. And to you people that live in Charlotte or have been here, the very building that we had them take Joe to and prepare him for cremation is now Lunchbox Records. So the guy took us back, and first I went, just me, and or I guess it was me and Greg. No, Greg stayed with Jeff. I went in and looked at Joe first, and you know, said goodbyes. And I went out, you know, and he looked. It wasn't, you know, something I think was going to scar Jeff. So I went out and I said, "Well, Jeff, you want to go? You want to go in?" And he's like, "Man, I need you to go with me. You know," he said, "I can't do this." And I went back in with him. But that was the roughest time for me, seeing Jeff so hurt. And then Barry came up there, and we were all just kind of outside. Jimmy Repo paid for the cremation. You know, he didn't take up a collection, didn't ask why, he just did it. And you know, and that's the kind of friend Jimmy Repo is. You know, he took care of it. But I guess it was out there that Barry asked me, you know, it's like I wasn't even, maybe I thought about it, but I wasn't really, you know, making any plans. But he says to me, like, "So, what are we going to do?" And I'm like, what do you mean? You know, like, he goes, "With the band." And I'm like, I don't know. We'll talk about it, you know, soon, I guess. And back when Joe and I did talk a lot, we talked about what would happen should one of us go. And man, the consistent thing that Joe would say, he said, "Man, there's only a few names that, you know, could take my spot as far as the ANTiSEEN way we do things." And that was the top of the list always was Russ Ward. Because by this point, Russ had traveled with us quite a bit. See, I didn't go through and just tell you about all the different merch people we had. It's not like, you know, we had a different merch person every tour. We'd keep a merch person. A merch person would last about as long as a band member. About 5 years is what we could get out of them. It's a thankless job. I wouldn't do it. I'm telling you that right now. But we had some good ones. And just so you know, everyone could have enough time to make Joe's funeral service. I think so he died in April. His birthday was in May. I'm thinking, we had his memorial service in June. It may have been May or June. Sorry, I'm not more prepared. But we had it at Tremont again. And see, John Hayes was in that network, in that family, man. If we needed something, man, he gave us free run of Tremont. We had it there on a Sunday. And my brother printed up Joe Young Memorial T-shirts. So we had a merch stand at Joe's service. We gave all the money to Jeff. Man, Jeff was going to have a real rough time. And to be honest with you, I always thought it was going to be the roughest if Jeff went first. That Joe wouldn't be able to function. But I was seeing with my very eyes right in front of me that it really didn't matter. Because as odd as this may sound, it was almost like those two guys made this one unit called the Young Brothers. And Jeff couldn't do without Joe. And Jeff was the most practical, thrifty, Jeff knew a lot of stuff, He knew just one of them guys knew a little bit about a lot of things, and but it turns out he needed Joe just as bad as I figured Joe would have needed him, and everyone like when I say everyone, I'm talking like me, Barry. John Bowman, that fella CJ I told you about before, everyone like Doug Knight, Eddie from Self-Made Monsters, Jeff Williams, everybody came and stayed with Jeff for a day or two or three, whichever you could do, that's what they did. Some of us came and, in and out. Like, I came back and stayed a few times. And just so he wouldn't be alone. And yeah, I kind of thought that after this, Jeff would kind of get out there and get into the world and kind of make something of it for himself, but he became more of a recluse than before. I always kind of felt Joe was the one that didn't want to do nothing, didn't want to go nowhere, and kind of kept Jeff from doing stuff. But Jeff was very social, very, that thing in Fast Times at Ridgemont where the guy says, wherever you are, it's the place to be. But that was just kind of how Jeff was. He didn't have to act like that. He's just like, hey, well, here we are. This is it, and it didn't quite work out that way for Jeff. But once all that was over, the service, getting everything straightened out the best we could for Jeff. It was very, very soon after Joe died, me and Barry and Jeff were sitting out in this patio here in this house. And Jeff, see, I was kind of waiting. as odd as this may sound, I was kind of waiting for Jeff to give the green light. That kind of to give his blessing that we go on. I wasn't really talking about it. Maybe I went ahead and assumed we were done. But Jeff says, "Nah, you guys can't quit, man. Joe wouldn't want you to quit, just because of him." And I said, "Well, yeah, we've talked about, stuff like that. But and we all talked. Jeff even knew. Yeah, the only the name that comes to the top was always Russ, because Russ understood Joe's way of playing, and it was very unorthodox. I know people think, well, it's real simple, bar chords, power chords, whatever. And man, the stuff this hand was doing was crazy. Man, I had to watch videos sometimes to watch and see what he was doing, because, I didn't really pay that much attention when I was there in the midst of it. But, Jeff says, you can't stop. So that's what I was waiting for. All right. Jeff says, we go. I almost considered having Jeff in the band for a minute, because he's the guy that taught Joe how to play guitar. But man, Jeff's health was declining. And not just his physical health either. I think this whole thing really did a number on him, man, because he's, in a way, he was left alone. But in reality, he was never alone. He had this huge family. And, after a while, how many times can you come by and, Jeff, let's go. Let's go out to dinner, man. Let's go here. Let's go see so-and-so's band, down here. Let's go out. And he just keep refusing. He just wanted to sit in his house, drink, get high, watch TV. And eventually, Jeff would have to leave here, and the woman that owned the house wanted to keep it in that circle, in that family. Jeff had gone to Gastonia for a little bit, and man, then his health just started getting so bad that he just quit his job that he had here in Charlotte, the Army Navy surplus, and he just went back to Lenore and got on disability. And me and Barry and Brandon and all helped him move up to Lenore. And man, the apartment that he had up there was really nice, and it was like the rent was dirt cheap. The disability could pay, and he'd have enough left over, to do things, buy food and stuff like that. But I'll never forget the last time I talked to Jeff was on the phone. I was coming home from work, and he was just telling me how he could not wait for the 35-year anniversary show. Talking about all the people he was going to see, you know, and see. By this time, I had to break the news to him that Phil Irwin died. You know, we'd lost Devin from Cock News. We lost Cosmo. We lost Joe. And then Phil. You know, it was a came hard and heavy there for a little bit, and but he was just saying how good it was going to be to see all these people, and I know at the time he had to walk around with an oxygen tank, and I know he did not want anyone to see him like that. So he was really, I thought, let me get some water here. I thought he was staying, you know, yeah, we lost Bandana, Mr. Bandana. But I thought Jeff was staying good on his meds and stuff, but he wasn't. And a couple weeks before the 35th anniversary show, Russ sent me a text that says, man, I don't know if this is true or not, but I just saw something on Facebook that says my cousin, Jeff Young, has passed away today. And I was like, cousin? And I said, hold on, man, I'm going to figure this out. You know, and I called Phil, because Phil knew of some of the outlining Young family up there. And man, it was Cindy Young, their cousin. And we got in touch with her. Phil did. And it was true. He was gone. And apparently he knew it was coming. Because when the paramedics came into his apartment, he was sitting in his favorite chair with his Bible open in his lap. Apparently, he'd been there, you know, like a few hours. He wasn't in there for days or nothing. But and so the service for Jeff was the day after the 35th anniversary. So we had this big celebration, and then we had this sad thing we had to go to, you know, and but I've jumped way ahead in the story. But that's what happened to Jeff. But shortly after Joe passed, he gave the green light for us, and one day I called a band meeting over here. And it was me, Barry, Jeff, and Russ. And I do believe Gooch was here too. But we're talking about going ahead and moving on. And I know at one point I just got, people were coming up with ideas, and I just says, well, you know, there's, me and Joe have had this conversation before. I know what he would have wanted to do. I said, and the only guy that could take that spot is sitting right there. Very emotional time. But it turns out we were right. Joe was right. And So there's how we went from the new blood back to the front line of the old guard, and then how we would go from there on. What would be called the obstinate lineup. And this is another one of them I'm gonna have to tiptoe on, because some of these wounds are still fresh. But I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, though. I'll tell you this. I'm gonna be fair, because it was not all bad times. It was some very, very good times. And I'll try to concentrate on those. I mean, some shit I'm gonna have to tell you. But, nah. You'll get that next week. Yeah, this was a heavy break on through, wasn't it? Very important part of the band, though. You guys pretty much got the story like you were there. I will say this: there is a video out, and it was filmed by our really good friends, Wayne Titsworth and Kathy Pippin, and they did a fantastic job filming the entire thing. But I asked them to please keep it to themselves and just give us a copy, because we wanted it. We didn't want it out for public scrutiny. But I don't know. One day I may decide to go ahead and let that be seen. 'Cause I'll tell you what, as far as a send-off, it was a hell of a send-off. Joe would have been happy. He would have been proud of it, especially with the merch stand. Oh boy, I bet people were like, these sons of bitches. I was talking with Justin Crockett not long ago, the Widowmaker. I've never bought a grave plot. I had one, but I think when our family got all dissolved and all over the place and all, I think Mom may have sold our grave plots. But what I was talking with Justin about, I was thinking of this, of maybe buying a grave plot. It wouldn't have to be big one, because both the boys are cremated. Matter of fact, both the boys are here in this room with me right now. And I would kind of like to have a place where, their friends and their family and their fans can go visit them. And we were thinking of having like one of those plaques that go in the ground that says, "The Young Brothers," Maybe have some kind of thing of Joe's guitar or something, have both their names, their birth and death dates. But this is something I I would kind of have to do with a GoFundMe thing. I'm kind of squirrely about those. But let me know if you guys think it's a good idea, and I would just like to take them back home, up there in the mountains. Not just let them, fly off of Grandfather Mountain or something, but just have a place where they can be put to rest. Let me know. Let me know what you think, and I don't know. Maybe if some of you out there are a little more skilled at calling and finding stuff out, like I'm not good at it. My wife is. I don't know. Maybe she could get on it. But I mean, I could go to one of those stone play. I know plenty of those places around, but I don't know. I mean, I've dealt with plenty of funerals and shit like that. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling now, but I think I would like to do that. And if you guys think it's a good idea, how about let me know? That way, whenever any of you pass through North Carolina, you stop in and visit the young boys, the young brothers. Yeah, I had some more stuff to tell you, and I saw somebody there say no questions. Yeah, I think I'm done today. So thank you everybody for stopping in. Thanks for listening to old JC talk for a little while. Now you know it. You know it better than anyone besides me. Tell you what, y'all. You keep doing what you do, and I'll keep doing what I do. For you. With you. Because one of these days, we're all going to know what it's like to break on through.